All right, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you across the world. Thanks for joining us. This is Spoon TV. We are coming to you live on the grounds of the legislature, the home of the first branch of government, uh, the place where laws are being made. And of course, my name is Nelson Collet, Ernest Benda here, Haji Masale, and the rest of the team here. And we are here basically to speak to Liberians, to spark the conversation. To spark the conversation. Okay, so to talk to Liberians on some of the happenings. Folks, just a couple of minutes ago, we brought you all of the happenings here on the grounds of the legislature from the level of the majority block and the minority block. And of course, did a 360 coverage of all of the major happenings here. But immediately as we concluded that broadcast, the Justice Minister of the Republic of Liberia was at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism regular press briefing. The Justice Minister doing his engagement at Mika in the process of interpreting the law, the ruling from the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, decided. In fact, he made a comment, and his comment was that the majority bloc is in no error as per everything that has come from the level of the Supreme Court. That the majority bloc is in no error in his interpretation of the ruling. He said the majority bloc is right, that in fact the government of Liberia or the executive is going to do business with the majority bloc. Immediately following that pronouncement, there was a jubilant mood here up Capitol Hill. A lot of the folks here celebrating following what was being said by the Justice Minister. And of course, we are here and we're going to talk to a few Liberians. We're going to get the views of some Liberians here, know exactly what their thoughts are, where do they stand on this. And of course, we will also bring you analysis, talk to some of the legislative reporters here as well as we kickstart the conversation here. And so I'd like to say welcome. Thanks a lot for talking to us. As you see at the far end there, some of the folks are celebrating. You see the women there celebrating. You see the women here. You see some of the folks here celebrating on the grounds of the legislature. And despite the celebration here, some of the folks are declining to speak on camera, given the nature of everything that's happened here at the level of the first branch of government. So we're gonna speak to a few of the folks, a few of them who are willing to speak out. We will be talking to them here shortly. Some of the folks are declining speaking to the microphone on grounds that they are, employees here on the grounds of the legislature. But it's been a very jubilant mood following the pronouncement here on the grounds of the legislature from the Justice Minister. Liberians are divided. Immediately following the pronouncement, the Speaker's vehicle, Councillor Kofa's vehicle, was being escorted by a lone police pickup, a pickup that was not in the lead as it would usually happen here on the grounds of the legislature. The pickup was actually at the back of the Speaker's official vehicle, and then they left the grounds of the legislature. So we are here. We're going to give you updates. We're going to speak to some of the folks here, and there are pockets conversation going on. There are some of the folks who see this as a victory, as a win for the majority bloc, given what's been happening here at the legislature for the past 1 month, pretty close to 2 months. The executive being at a critical junction, trying to decide, make a decision as to which faction of the group to work with, whether the majority black or the minority black. In the midst of everything that's been happening, the statement from the Justice Minister today.
The police car that usually escort the
Okay,
speaker,
so I've been joined by my colleague Haji Masale. Yeah, Haji.
yeah, so the vehicle, the police vehicle you see coming in, going towards the speaker park is the car that usually escort the speakers, convoy.
Okay.
And we saw this particular vehicle, escorting the embattled speaker out of.
What are you
the-
guys celebrating?
the
I'm
fence.
celebrating because the government recognized the most astute speaker, Rachel Nambekun, as the speaker of the 55th legislature.
What is in there to celebrate? What is in there
I'm
to celebrate?
celebrating because they are removing the corruption father. The former
You
speaker.
think so?
He's corrupt.
This is something that has been going on for pretty close to 2 months now here at the level of the legislature. Do you think development has been stalled to some extent?
It is because of me, our 60% have gone away, but we are demanding our 60% from the former speaker.
Are you a staffer here?
I'm
at
a
the
staffer. I'm a staffer. This is my ID card.
legislature? Okay.
This is my ID card. We are demanding our 60% from the former speaker.
Your 60% was with
Has to
him.
come before he pack a load from the speaker office.
Do you see this as a win for the majority black, given what we
That's a
see?
100% plus win to the majority block.
What's your expectation now, given
My
what's
expectation, because according to the speaker, Rachel Nambekun, he said our hope will be restored, and that's my expectation.
Okay, thanks a lot for talking to Spoon TV.
Thank you.
Okay, let's talk to another person here. Welcome to Spoon.
Thank you very much. I'm Chief Fendesco Lama.
Do you work here at the legislature?
Yeah, I'm a Chief of Officer in the District Number 8, representative of the almost Sales Officer Miana.
So, a couple of minutes ago, a statement from the Justice Minister that the executive is going to do business with the majority black, and that the majority black was in no wrong. How do you see that? There was some sign of celebration here, while others were disappointed.
No, some people, they don't know the precedent. When they say precedent, something that happened before. Why is it we got history? History is something that you will know where it came from and to prepare where you are going. I got in the building since 2006 as a Chief of Officer. At that time, they used to call Chief of Officer Administrative Assistant. And I served with late, may so rest in peace, Justin Finder. From there, every snow spent just 6 months when he was removed. When they decided to remove him, he knew that the majority were not with him. So he decided, say, I don't want to be disgraced. To go in the record that I'm being removed. So what I will do, I will resign. He did. Then again, 2016, when Ellis Tyler issue happened, Ellis Tyler knew that because the majority that he been working with then, they were not again with him, he decided, say, no, let me resign. But when that thing happened the other day, when our former speaker, our then speaker, were in America.
You think he's a former speaker?
He's 100% a former speaker. You know what happened? He was in America when he left. People got the information. He was here when the information started, way in May. People gathering information. He knew very well. The man who you and him went in the race, which is Rachel Nambekun, you won him with 5 votes. When when he gave him the positions, because the law says that when the speaker is elected, you will be the one to allot the position, to get the position to appoint your leadership. The man went and gave Rachel Nambekun, the chairman on hydrocarbon. Was a disgrace. For him to look at me, man, the man who came from the party is a ruling party. You left me, you make it the chairman on hydrocarbon.
I saw mixed reaction here immediately when the Justice Minister made the pronouncement. Some people celebrating, some people in a very sad mood. Do you think this is something for the country to celebrate? Is this going to bring any form of relief to the workings of government?
No, 100%. I brought the release to us because what? The budget is a law. The money, the resources that we get to the country to make sure that thing happens, that the money is holding it. Just imagine, I'm coming to you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just imagine the yellow machine business that came in this country. He knew very well that he wanted to sabotage the government, that what the yellow machine are not gone far. Because of this, saying he had been a former speaker I was now.
You think the yellow machine is about to pass through?
The yellow machine will be passed and will be part of the budget.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm beginning deep on the school. I'm talking with you. I want to tell him today. I was 60%. I was 60%. You will get it before you leave.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for talking to us, Spoon TV.
At the moment, we want to go to towards the escort vehicle that is parked at the speaker's parking lot. So we want to give the audience or viewers, a perfect, understanding as to what is happening at the moment. We are seeing a red car parked at the speaker's parking lot. We don't know who owns that red car. We're going to look at the license plate and identify who owns that car. But we'll really, surmise that that car belongs to a representative. So just a moment ago, when the Minister of Justice was at MICAT giving briefing on the ruling of the Supreme Court, his own opinion and his analysis, the Speaker was here.
Let's take this out.
Fonati Kofa. He was here, he was in his office. I believe he followed, the activities at MICAT. So immediately after the Justice Minister rendered his analysis and conclusion, it was when the Speaker left. And when he was leaving, this car usually, escort him outside, or it's always with him. So we saw the car, moving, and it parked later, and escorted the Speaker up to the entrance of the fence and left him.
So Haji, given the observation, I see that the police vehicle is leaving now. But given the observation, how long did it take? Like in terms of how many minutes or so, the time when the Justice Minister made the pronouncement to that of the time when the Speaker left, and even the police vehicle left without sirens, according to information.
So it was just in the space of 10 minutes. That is immediately after the Justice Minister left or concluded with his analysis at MICAT. It was when the Speaker, left. So we were just in the space of 10 minutes, and he left without a siren. He left without the usual vehicle that escort.
The number of vehicles that will form part of his convoy.
His number of vehicles, remain constant, but the concentration of this is that the white vehicle you just saw leaving is the vehicle that usually go ahead. That usually goes ahead. So that vehicle we saw parked there belongs to the chief of office staff of the Speaker.
Okay, so I see the celebration out there, and Haji, we want to make sure that
James Colette,
the chair of rules, order and administration. But previously he previously left, and now we see him come back here. I see staffers are cheering up and celebrating him. Is this a victory or not? What does it mean? We want to say, if we can speak to Honorable Colette. Honorable Colette, welcome to Spoon TV.
Yeah, I'm happy to be with you at this time.
Why are the people celebrating?
I think the people are the best people to ask why are they celebrating. But I'm happy that what we stood for, what we told the Liberian people, it had come to reality. We told the Liberian people that the court ruling was never in favor of the minority. And I think the Minister of Justice has the constitutional responsibility to interpret the ruling of the Honorable Supreme Court. And you listen to the interpretation that the majority were not illegally sitting. The majority legally sat in their chamber, and what all they did was legal. So that is to tell me that Speaker Rachel Nangbe Kun, the accounting professor, it is the legitimate speaker of the 55th National Legislature.
Now you said what you fought for, what you stood for. Today there's an interpretation from the Justice Minister. What should Liberians look forward to? I mean, I see the staffers here celebrating as well. What's next in line?
The staffers alone can tell you. The staffers alone can tell you what was happening to them. You see the joy in them. They tell they are free. At long last, they are free. They are not going to work in a working environment with fear. Let me say this to you. We are not going to have a rule order administration chair that will place, that will put people on the payroll every month. What kind of work environment? Every month you bring new workforce on the payroll. As we speak, I just received a call from the Assistant Minister of Budget. Our compensation is shorting by 1.4. Our compensation is shorting by 1.4 million. So if we don't do the necessary thing to ensure that 1.4 is placed in the budget, our staff might not take pay. So these are some things we are fighting again. You say that anytime you bring people on the payroll and use the compensation then. Right now the compensation is shorting by 1.4 million. Where do we take additional 1.4 million for our staff to receive pay for the Christmas season?
I heard you say to a few of the staffers that it's over. Is this a win?
It is a win for democracy. It is a win for respecting the majority. It is a win when you are entrusted with a piece of tax to perform according to your expectation. It is a win when you are entrusted to conduct yourself in a foreign manner that your colleagues will remember you. It is a win for you to use the opportunity to set up a legacy. It is a win to ensure that Liberia is bigger than everyone.
I heard a lot of the staffers talking about some 60%. They need to get that 60%. What's the 60% about?
We were recalled here, and it disappointed us at the time. The leadership at the time went to where they said that the Ministry of Finance did not pay 100% for them to get a benefit. Later day, we know that they pay 100%. The Senate received 100% of the benefit. Our staff here, they didn't receive 100%. They only received 40%. The 40% there by the leadership taking 60%. We think it was not a good working environment. We think it was not something good. Let us give the people that benefit they deserve.
So are you going to give the remaining?
No, I cannot speak to that for now. Okay. But what I've said over and over is every person that work in this place under the leadership of the rule orders in administration will receive what they are entitled to. The issue of rule orders committee or chair taking people gasoline for their personal desire, those days are over. I'm saying to them, if you are entitled to one piece of coupon, you will receive your one piece of coupon. Let people get a benefit.
Thank you for talking to Spoon TV.
Thank you so much.
Well, folks, we are staying here. As you see, there's jubilant mood. There's a jubilant mood here. Let's talk to this lady here. Okay, so you see a few of the folks here in a very jubilant mood.
I'm a regular and I want to take photos.
Okay. So but just before doing that, what do you make of everything that's happening here up Capitol Hill?
Well, I'm so pleased. I'm happy. I'm one of the employees here from the Central Administration, and we have been under bondage. But by the grace of God, we are redeemed. Absolutely,
you think you are redeemed?
Sure, we are redeemed. There are a lot of things. I think you just spoke about the 60%.
Yeah.
Every time money come, and they will take the money, the leadership, and they will come and tell us, we were called by ourselves. Even if the president called them, which of course we are entitled to that money. By the end of the day, we will receive nothing. So I believe this is a new leadership, and they are actually going to bring us some joys in this place, and we will work immensely with them.
You're going to work with this leadership.
Sure.
Now, but when this whole saga was going on, how was it like for you? I mean, what was it like for you in terms of the working environment and all of that?
It was not actually conducive. In fact, if you work here, you don't even, talk around. They will say people that are employed here, they are not to talk anything. I mean, they deprive you for everything. How will you work here? And this is a ground of politics. You come here, you discuss issues, but once they see you in the corridor talking, they say, "Oh, you don't have to speak this, you don't have to say this." I mean, we were just like very much deprived in this place.
Wow.
Because, yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for talking to Spoon TV.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so folks, we are still here on the grounds of the legislature. Haji, I mean, what do you make of everything that's happening here?
I think it's just a trend of event, and people have been talking about precedents. So these are, some of the precedents that we are witnessing. These things happened in the past, and it continue to happen. Now we heard rumors, in the past that Honorable Kofa was to resign, but sometime another day, and we'll hear that the man said he cannot resign. The reason a lot of previous speakers have been resigning is because
Yeah.
They did
You
not
wanna
want.
just face the camera.
They did not want to come to this point, a point where all your immunity will be withdrawn from you with immediate effect. A point where, for example, the security details will be withdrawn. A point where the license plate, the representative one entitled to the speaker will be forcibly, taken from the car of the speaker. So these are things, past speakers have been avoiding. That's why they peacefully, resign these positions. But it is so strange that to see this kind of situation reaching to this point where we saw the speaker leaving and everybody jubilating on one side while another side is kind of quiet.
Okay, so what we are getting information that the Liberian Senate has recognized Honorable Rachel Nagbe-Kun as the speaker of the 55th Legislature. They recognize the removal of Councillor J. Fonati Kofa as speaker. That's something that we're going to get more details on and fill our people in. But this is unconfirmed information we're getting for now.
So to recognize Honorable Rachel Kun as the speaker of the 55th Legislature, that was done in session. Right now, the Senate is in session. So when the Senate received the information that Rachel Kun has been recognized by the Minister of Justice, they had to pause the activities and come up with a bill of information. Okay. We'll come up with an information that our colleagues on the other side in the lower house have a new speaker that have been recognized by the executive. I think that was what happened at the level of the Senate today.
Yes, and exactly so. We are going to bring capture some of the scenes there from the level of the. So you have officials leaving from the hearing here at the House of Representatives. That is Amos Swear, LPRC, Managing Director. That is LPRC. That is LPRC. MD. Honorable 12. Welcome to School TV. Okay. So the MD, the managing director of the LPRC, now leaving the grounds of the legislature. So we actually thought to have gotten words from him, but it was kind of difficult due to the security situation.
So he was here part of the budget hearing, and what is happening right now at the level of the budget hearing is the revenue component. That's why it's not open to the public, because revenue component, you cannot tell where all you getting, you cannot tell your sources of revenue except for the expenditure component where it will be open to the public.
Wow. So yes, of course, this is what it's like here. It's a kind of mixed reactions, but mostly a jubilant mood here at the level of the legislature, House of Representatives, after several months of having this back and forth, a saga here to have the speaker ousted. Of course, we are seeing today that the Justice Minister have made a pronouncement interpreting the ruling of the Supreme Court, which have now seen a jubilant mood after he did pronounce that the legislature, or the government, is going to work with the majority black, that the majority black was in no wrong, the majority black was in no error. They did just what they did in the confines of the law, and that the government is going to work with the majority black. And of course, this is where we are. Let's speak to a gentleman here. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Nothing.
I mean, what do you make of the scene here? The pronouncement from the Justice Minister?
You see, there are a lot of staffers. You see, those staffers, they are jubilating. They are in the jubilee room. Because while we are observing here, I just couldn't believe that, Nelson, that this precedent that was set by the removal of the former speaker, Fonati Kofa, I think it will set a precedent for whom be speaker, that when you lose a majority, just make sure you resign. If not, it will be a bad record for you to be removed.
You think it was prudent for the speaker, Councillor Kofa, to have resigned? In the midst
he had all the options, brother. Parliamentarily, if you lost majority, you lost the gabble. The power is vested in the majority, the gabble. Okay, so you want to communicate the majority decision when they decide on whatever bill or resolution. If the majority decide, then you are now in power. Yet now the government says so by order. But if you lost that legitimacy, you are gone. And now you see what is happening. And you know the court here cannot rule on political issue. And you say even at the last any day in their ruling, they said the chief clerk, the clerk of the court should communicate with the parties that their action here because Sonati was sitting and adjourning daily. And then the majority they were having regular session. Say the both of them parties, their actions should not be ultra viral.
Do you think do you see this as a good precedent for the democracy of our country moving forward?
Yeah, the democracy. I mean, the democracy is working. Our democracy is working. The only thing that happened here today, what I observe is that two branches of government recognize the majority. The executive, I mean, the judiciary wasn't clear. You understand? But the executive team today they have clearly interpreted the Constitution and said the majority is not acting in contravention of the Constitution of Liberia. They're acting in compliance of the Constitution and laws of Liberia. Wow. So who am I? I'm not a lawyer. Who am I? To disagree with the Minister of Justice.
Are you a staffer here?
Yeah, I'm a staffer.
And you think this is a win for the staffers or a loss? Are you going to miss Councillor Kofi giving his leadership for the past 9 to 10 months?
For me, his leadership indirectly affect me because I work with the Senate. You understand? And both houses got to agree on whatsoever that benefit the staffers. You understand? So indirectly, his leadership going to have influence on on the House of Senate. Okay. So thank you, Nelson.
Thank you very much for talking to us. Spoon TV, we're still out here on the grounds of the legislature, of course, bringing to you scenes following pronouncement from Justice Minister as to what the situation is and who exactly they're going to work with. The Justice Minister did say that they're going to work with the majority bloc, and that has created this situation here. Thanks for joining us, folks. Of course, Honorable Guy, welcome to the media, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Is this a win for you, the majority bloc?
But nothing has happened. What strange happened today?
The pronouncement from the Justice Minister.
But we said to you people that we were acting in accordance with the law. So if I've had series of interviews and told you there's nothing we did wrong and the court cannot revise our decision. So with the Attorney General opinion, it just validated what we have said. So nothing to be happy because I knew what we did. We're all right.
So you are sure of a day like this coming back?
Criminal lawyers, civil lawyers, corporate lawyers are different from legislative proceedings. There are laws governing the legislature that the Supreme Court cannot overturn. We have the constitutions, we have our rules, and we have the missing statute of legislative proceedings. These are laws on the basis of which we take action as legislators. So what we were doing, I was overly confident that we were going to reach this day. So there's nothing to jubilate.
And that's why you presided from the very start of this fight?
Yes, of course. Because I knew we had our legal guardians along the way.
Is this a good precedent for the democracy of our country?
Yes, of course.
How will you feel? How will you feel?
You ask the question. Yeah. There's the beauty of politics. On ground that all power are inherent in the people. Who are the people? Members of the floor. So if the presiding or the speaker is in error, let me just say this. The guys failed to address the issues concerning the resolution. The issue of the $7 million overspent by the former speaker, it is false. The issue of rating ECOWAS, referencing section 28C of the supplemental law, which require that members should be elected. And you reference it in your letter to ECOWAS. And you understanding it that you never had election. That was the misinformation you gave to ECOWAS, violating Rule 40 of our rules that calls for honesty and transparency in our dealings. So we go back to let me tell you, the former speaker of Go and Kanda, I'm saying this again, mark me on record. He will account for the $7 million.
So are you going to start an investigation? Are you about to start?
We have all of the requisite information. He will account for the $7 million. That's past the threshold. The budget transfer law set for a threshold of 15% on an emergency basis. There's not an issue we are removing. But the major issues there, he should account for the $7 million.
What if few months from now? What if
Because it could be used for the health sector, it could be used for road, it could be used for educational purposes.
what happens few months from now if maybe another majority black comes up to say they don't want Speaker Kun? What will you do? Will you advise him to resign?
It is their legislative right.
Okay, thank you for talking to Spoon TV. Folks, we're still here representing God here speaking to the media just moments after this pronouncement from the Supreme Court. We're going to speak to Representative for the family. We saw him out here just a couple of minutes ago. We're going to get words from him as well. As you see on the grounds of the legislature, there is jubilant mood here. Some of the folks celebrating, while some are disappointed. Some are seeing this as a slap in the face of a democracy, respect for the rule of law, something that the right precedent is not being set today, given what the pronouncement is coming from the justice minister, while others are celebrating. And the people who are celebrating here the most are the staffers, those who work here at the legislature, at the House of Representatives, in central administration. Those are the folks who are celebrating here in their majority. Some of the lawmakers we've spoken to so far have said that this doesn't come as any surprise to them because they think that they weren't proceeding wrongly and that everything they did was in the confines of the law. And so at this particular point, despite the celebration here by some of the workers, the staffers here at the legislature, they saw from afar that a day like this was going to come someday, but it was just a matter of time. And so we're still here. We're going to speak to some of the folks, and at some point, we're going to get the Speaker of the majority bloc, Representative for the family. We're going to get to talk to him. I saw him out here just a while ago. We're going to get words from him as well as one of those persons who was at the forefront in the midst of all of this fight, speaking out, propagating the messages of the majority bloc. And of course, we're going to speak to him. As you can see at the far end there, staffers of the legislature there. Some are in a very sad mood while others are celebrating. So this is a kind of mixed reaction, mixed emotion, mixed feeling that you have here right now on the grounds of the legislature. So thanks for joining us, Spoon TV. We're still here. We're going to speak to a few legislative reporters here. Let's talk to some of the media folks here who have been following and reporting on this issue from the very start. As we continue with this very broadcast, we're gonna speak to a few of the media folks here. But let me start with my colleague here, Haji. You listen to a few of the lawmakers speak.
Many of them have, spoke to us are of the majority bloc, and they declare this as a win for them. And these are things we saw coming long before, that in a much majority of your members are against you or declare vote of no confidence. You go up, you come down, you will be removed. Wow. There have been no removal process where somebody survived it. That person was, removed no matter how long it took. So these are things we've been saying from the onset of this whole episode. And now we have come to the realization that the Justice Minister has declared the majority bloc to be the victor of the Supreme Court's ruling.
Actually, I want you to describe that scene for us when Speaker Kofa left the grounds of the Capitol just this afternoon. I want you to give us a mental picture of that particular scene, since in fact we didn't have our cameras, our live camera on to capture that very moment.
So, in a much we were not rolling our camera, but I did a pre-recording of the scene up to the time he left from a parking lot and he left the fence. So it might be played on Spoon Talk tonight. But it was just emotional. It was just emotional to see the number one man at the level of the House of Representatives, they call it first and more equal, being reduced in the kind of form and manner.
Do you think it was reduced? You think so?
Nelson, to have a serene bloom ahead of your convoy, that is a morale. To see that particular car blowing serene ahead of you be taken back, to your tail of your convoy.
Yeah, at the back of the convoy, not the lead vehicle anymore.
It's not a lead
but
vehicle
at the back
anymore.
of the convoy.
So it just tells you that morally, he's broken down. So I mean,
yesterday there was an interview conducted with the speaker, and Councillor Kofa expressed serious disappointment in the executive. And then when I asked him the question, he said he's disappointed in the executive. He was disappointed in the police as well, based on on what he said. The police will always do that. When he's here on a normal day, there will not be a huge presence of the police, but once the majority black is having a session, then there will be a huge presence of the Liberia National Police. He also expressed disappointment in the executive for allowing officials of the executive branch of government to consistently appear before the majority black Haji. Do you think that the speaker, Councillor Kofa, saw this coming?
I mean, if he didn't see it coming, it means that, sorry to say, he was stubborn. But this was a clear manifestation of what is happening today. That it begins with few of the colleagues putting pen to paper in the form of resolution. He saw that. He was aware. He had a birthday party where some of the members from the majority black, at the time it was not constituted as majority black.
Yeah.
At the time they were putting pen to paper. Some of the guys went to him. They merry make on his birthday. Some of them told him and said, "But man, we'll come and move you. We are about to remove you." He said, "You are joking. It would take a yellow machine to jack me from that seat." I mean, they were joking about it, but he's supposed to have taken it seriously.
You think in Liberia they say, "Well, it started with joking serious"?
Joking serious. So if your friend comes to you and say, "My man, we put this signature to remove you," the man is serious about it. Besides that, such a position is the number one political position in the country from the political horse standpoint. I'm not talking about the presidency, right? So as a politician, he needed to be wise enough politically to cut everything short, to maneuver. That's why anytime they went to the Supreme Court, they say go and do the right thing, informing the speaker to negotiate with the police. The American ambassador came, some international partners came to him and said, negotiate with your colleagues. So negotiating with your colleagues could even be, you don't have to win the situation, but you have to have an exit strategy in this particular process. Meaning that if your colleagues insist that they don't want you, you peacefully resign. So you don't have to hold on to the power. And
but the speaker have always said that the law is the law. He's going to stand by the rule of law. He's going to make sure that if his colleagues want to remove him, they should do that in the confines. They should do that in the confines of the law. So in the midst of this, we're seeing what transpired today. Maybe you wanted the law to be followed, but let's see if we can talk to a gentleman right here. Hello, welcome to school.
I'm good. My name is Mustafa Kelvin Passaway, a staff of the House of Representatives.
Okay, what do you make of what's happening here today? Mixed reaction. Some people celebrating, some people are very sad following the pronouncement from the Justice Minister.
We are watching the same way, and like you said, we are seeing people who are celebrating and people who are being sad.
Yeah.
And we are also saying how the legislature is being run, because this place is a play of numbers.
Okay.
But yet still having the numbers, you need to follow law proceedings.
Yeah.
And we have observed that the Justice Minister has given his opinion as per what is unfolding. So somebody might say they have won, and it's true, because once...
Do you think it's a win for the majority bloc?
Yes. It's a win for the majority bloc, because the executive now is willing and is open to do business with it. So the budget hearing or budget allocation discussions will be done by the majority. So it's a win for them. It's a win for them.
I mean, do you think the right precedent is being set here? Do you see democracy? Do you see the pronouncement and everything that's happening now as democracy being at work, or is it a slap in the face of democracy?
As per my opinion, as an individual, I see that the law was not respected because the proceedings in order to get rid of the speaker no, were not met, and they acted as per what they could have done. So it's a legislative happening, and like I said, it has to do.
And you think the law was disrespected?
It was abused. It was abused because in order to remove a speaker, there are some procedures that are needed to be followed, and we never saw those procedures being followed.
What are some of the procedures you didn't see the majority black following that you think made it to be a situation where the law was being violated?
First, they never file a complaint officially to plenary for discussion. That's the first thing you have to do. If you have an issue with the lawmaker or with the speaker, file in a complaint, and then plenary will take that and then give it to the committee on rules and order. Then the speaker will recuse himself for 14 days. And then, but we never saw that. We never saw that, but rather we saw the political aspect of this entire saga. And like I said, as per what the executive is about to do.
Yeah, you want to just face the camera. Yeah.
As per what the executive is about to do by doing business with the majority bloc, like I said, it's a win for them. So the best thing the speaker could do is to watch them do business and at the same time remain as speaker and not to resign.
Okay, so you think even at this point the speaker should not resign? He should hold on to his position as speaker. We should watch the first branch of government having two speakers while the executive does business with the majority.
Like the majority is saying that they have elected or nominated a new speaker, and by law, because Article 33 and 49 are clear. So as per law, the speaker still remains the speaker, and I'm saying to the speaker, he should not resign. He should stand firm. If the executive wishes to do business with the people, open it. Let them do business with the people. The international community is watching. Like I said, the amount of sanctions that we saw during we are regimes, the sanctions that will come in this regime, it will be even more. Than what
So you foresee more sanctions as a result of what's
I
happening?
foresee more sanctions as per what is happening now. I foresee more sanctions. I foresee that. And this is a caveat to every young people out there. No matter who you are, no matter what you are involved into, Liberia Constitution is the only thing that we should preserve. It's the most precious book that we all should abide by. So if the Constitution says you should do this and you are not doing it, my dear brother, you are abusing the rules of the land.
Are you disappointed?
I'm so how this happening because of our lawmakers that we elected not following the laws.
Okay. Thanks a lot for talking to Smooth TV.
Okay.
Okay, so folks, we are still here on the grounds of the legislature. Liberians still gathered here. Expressing mixed views on the recent pronouncement by the Justice Minister. Some people think that it's a slap in the face of justice and the rule of law, while others see this as a good way to go, a perfect solution to what has been transpiring at the level of the first branch of government. As you see before the speaker's wing, there's pocket conversation going on. From this end, you see folks from the Liberia Immigration Service entering the facility here, headed to the Senate's wing, and Liberians on the other end there gathered, still here, following some level of celebration here by the folks. We want to say thanks a lot to all of you for watching Spoon TV. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for being here as we thought to just bring you a quick update on the grounds of the legislature here following what happened. You see some of the staffers still there watching and observing, speaking to some of the folks, here, sharing their moments with the speaker, Councillor Kofa. Some of them are saying that they will miss Councillor Kofa. In the case where the executive is no longer doing business with him, they will miss him. Even in the case where his leadership comes to an end, they're going to miss him because they have had their own share of beautiful memories with the speaker, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa. Some people say this is a loss for Councillor Kofa, while others see this as a win for him. Some people still think that even at this point, the speaker should not resign. The embattled speaker, Councillor Kofa, should not resign. He should hold on. He should maintain his grounds because he's in the right. The law is the law, and if anything such as removal, it should be done through the law. In as much as there is no 49 signature, there shouldn't be anything such as removal of the speaker. There are others who think that the law was being violated, while others think that so why others think that the law is being respected and democracy is at work. Let's talk to our colleague here. We've been joined by Trokon Flaman here at the grounds of the legislature. Trokon, you have seen the scenes here on the grounds of the legislature. What can you say? What did you observe?
I was surprised that the announcement from the Minister of Justice prompted some actions in the building, like some of those people some of those staffers in administration, especially from the side of embattled speaker Chief Onati Kofa. Some of the those staffers, they were shouting, including some of those people who were standing around. They were shouting like surprised that the Ministry of Justice, the minister will make such a pronouncement, trying to confirm where the president hand is and all of that.
Trokon, and I'm asking you this question specifically, and I'm going to move to Haji next because you were with you at some point. You were with the Councillor Kofa. You were with the Speaker's Block at some point,
Providing coverage.
Yeah, providing coverage. Yeah, to be specific, providing coverage. And at some point, Haji was in the joint chambers with the majority block. So you providing coverage as well. You from the minority block and Haji from the majority block. And it's a good thing that we can end this broadcast with a conversation with you both. Now, Trokon, from that end, from the majority block, when the pronouncement was being made by the Justice Minister, I want you to describe the atmosphere. Did it come as a shock? Was it a surprise to many of the folks who were there? What was the reaction like? Did they express disappointment in the Justice Minister for the comment or what?
Obviously, Nelson, a lot of people, those who are on the side of the embattled speaker, Chief Onati Kofa, they were expressing their disappointment. Some of those guys said to me that we expected this, but not as soon, like
Not
this.
at this time.
Yeah, not at this time. They said they expected it. They knew that the president was allegedly supporting the majority bloc against the embattled speaker, but they were shocked and they were expressing their disappointment over the form and manner in which the Supreme Court judgment has been interpreted by the executive.
Now, Haji, from the angle of the majority bloc, given everything you saw in session today, was there any sign that such a thing was coming out today, talking about the interpretation of the ruling from the Justice Minister, given what we saw?
The speaker, the recognized speaker, Rachel Kun, has issued a statement. Can we just read through the statement if you want to do that?
Okay, so let me see what it says here. He says, in times of disagreement, he posted this as a matter of fact 8 minutes ago, and he says, in times of disagreement, we do not see enemies, but rather a divided opinions amongst colleagues about what's right and what's wrong. It's now time to come together as one body to adhere to our responsibilities as lawmakers of the Honorable House of Representatives. We also apologize to our constituents for what has been unfolding at the Capitol building, and we commit ourselves to putting everything under control to perform our duties as lawmakers, as your lawmakers. Liberia first and Liberia last. This is what Speaker Rachel Kun posted, or the recognized Speaker Honorable Rachel Kun posted just about 8 minutes ago. Haji.
Okay, so now we are seeing recognized speaker, but the legal people will not say Rachel Kun is a recognized speaker.
Yeah,
What they say is that, especially the Justice Minister, he said the majority block setting is legal. So meaning that all the committee, the majority bloc, is forming, is part of the legal process. The election of the speaker is part of the legal process. The removal of Funati Kofa is part of the legal process. Reconstituting committees, all of that is in the wisdom of the justice minister, conclusion. Okay, so whether Honorable Kofa saw this coming or not, like we said earlier, he might have seen this coming, but he was just a bit adamant. Because Speaker, has done so, but he has been, saying he wants the rule of law to take its course. But what his colleagues were doing, they are not illegal. So what is illegal that he wants, legality to? I mean, it just pathetic, it's just a sad day today to see the Speaker leaving
again, just before I go back to Chokon Haji, did you see any sign of the majority bloc expecting this interpretation from the Justice Minister today?
I mean, in the first place, when the Justice Ministry released their, ruling, all sides celebrated. And today, it seems like only one side is celebrating. So it's just obvious that the side that is celebrating, they feel that the conclusion of or the interpretation of the Justice Minister is on that side, which is the majority bloc.
Wow. Chokon, what do you foresee, especially as someone who has been providing coverage at the level of the minority bloc for some time now since this saga, erupted? What do you foresee in the coming days? Because the reason why I'm asking you, just before the ruling from the Justice Minister, not ruling, but the interpretation from the Justice Minister, I saw Representative Frank Safoko of District 9, Monrovia County. He walked past this entire corridor, headed to the other end, and he said that Thursday and moving forward is gonna be the D-Day, the real time. It's gonna be use some words, but I mean, given what has come up, what do you foresee?
The embattled speaker and those who are behind him, particularly those lawmakers, they are said consistently, times without number, that he will not resign. That resignation is not part of their dictionary, and he will not adhere to resignation. Some of those lawmakers who we spoke to, they said that they are seeing clearly that the executive is on the side of the majority.